But you know, it's natural. It's cool. Yeah. Welcome back with us on our stage. We have Princess Sarah that has joined us. How are we doing this morning?
I'm great. How are
We're
you?
doing well. We're happy. We're here in Louisville. What are you most excited about seeing in the city once we finish?
Actually, I want to go to the Muhammad Ali Museum.
Right.
We already went by it. It wasn't
Okay.
open yesterday, so planning to go there.
Okay. Since we're sticking with the sports team, I understand.
Uh-oh.
Why you say uh-oh? What do you think?
I don't know a lot about sports.
You know
Okay.
But didn't you play sports growing up?
I did.
What was the position you played on the basketball team?
I was a two guard. I was a
Okay.
basketball
See?
two guard. Any hoopers around here? I play
There's
basketball.
plenty of hoopers. So you were hitting the threes and guarding the people there?
My biggest game, I scored 30 points.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points in high school. And did you win?
No, we lost.
You lost? Okay. But at least you
That's
scored
okay.
your points.
Yes.
All right. So I have so many questions for you. The
Okay.
basketball one was the first one. But let's see here. Maybe it would help people
Yeah.
if they kind of understood your story and maybe start with
Sure.
curiosity. And so when I'm asking you about curiosity, like how were you curious enough and courageous enough to follow? It's like, you know what? I want to meet my true birth parents.
Yes. So I think I'm a person who always doesn't want to have regrets. And I also like to step into fear sometimes.
Okay.
I talk about that. Like, what
Okay.
is it like to step into the unknown? And I said to myself, I don't want to be 60, 70, or 80 someday, and it's too late to find my birth family. So I said, I'm going to go on this journey. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to take on being open, loving, and courageous.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on a journey.
All right, you
And
did.
I
That's
did,
you
and
did.
I went to Sierra Leone to meet my birth family and the tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my parents who raised me, an all-white family in West Virginia, I said, no one will ever replace you. You are my heart.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to know more about medical history. I just will have all these questions I want to get answered. And they said, okay. So went there, met the tribe, was welcomed by hundreds of people singing and dancing. My father gave me this beautiful green African dress.
Yes.
And when I arrived in the village, all the women came forward to welcome me wearing the same green dress, singing, "We're preparing for Sarah and Mende." So my life changed.
Yes. You went from Sarah to Princess Sarah.
Yeah.
But I understand it took you a little time to claim it. You were a little unsure.
Yeah, you did your research.
Of course,
I
girl,
see you.
I have to do my research, of course. Why did it take you a little while to claim it?
Yeah, you know what? I think I had a lot of stories about titles and what people would think. Like, I thought people would think, oh, she thinks she's better, or blah, 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 blah. Or maybe that's what I thought, that when I think of royalty. And then I started to learn about my family and the work that my grandfather did with education in the country. And I said, wow, stepping into this royalty, understanding who I am, is important for other black and brown girls to know that we can look like each other and be royalty. And also the British wanted to get rid of a lot of titles and only have one Queen of England. So it's also reclaiming that and standing in my family's power and owning that.
Okay.
So
All right.
then finally I was like, all
All
right.
right. So you claimed it.
I claimed it.
You claimed it.
I claimed it.
And then once you claimed it, how did your life change? I know you didn't go to the DMV.
Right, you saw that interview. They were like, did you go to the DMV?
Right,
that was
right.
funny,
That was
right?
funny.
Yes,
That was a good
yes.
one.
No, I didn't go to the DMV. I didn't go to the DMV. That was funny. But no, really, to me, it's about responsibility. And I think we all are royalty in our own way when we're being of service to others. That's what I have a podcast called Modern Royalty Podcast, right? And I'm interviewing royalty from around the world. And the through line with every single person is being of service to the people, to your community. So if anybody is doing that in life, you're royalty. That's what I say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
When are there some times when you don't step into your fear? Because you said you step into it sometimes, but when is it sometimes you don't?
When I feel like it's going to affect too many people. There's one thing if something affects me. There's another thing I feel like if it might affect a lot of different people. You know, in my life, I don't think just about myself anymore. I think, and not that I thought about my family and friends, but when there's a whole community and a tribe in a country, I think differently. So I'm like, what's the best for everyone?
Okay. And so that's when you have to take a little time to be like,
Yeah, don't just jump. It's like,
Right.
that might not be the best idea for everyone.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, were you nervous as you're doing the research and you're saying, okay, I see this could be something here. Like, were you nervous? Were you scared? Like, what was the emotions going through you when you realized that this could be bigger than I had ever anticipated?
Let's see. What was going through my head? You know what? I was totally nervous, and I didn't want to be rejected. And I thought, the young child comes out. We all have our inner child that hangs out with us and pops up its head when we get scared or nervous or any of those kind of things. And I had to go, okay, we're going to do this. And we're going to take it on and trust that things are going to go well or okay, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you got through that. You worked through your nerves. You did that. And then tell us, once you arrived in Sierra Leone and you looked around after the celebration, the green dress, everyone greeted you.
Yes.
You looked around. You're like, there's some things here that maybe I can help or be of service with. What was that realization like?
I was an actress in Los Angeles, and all of a sudden, I was really interested. I wasn't so interested in Hollywood. I was interested in my family's livelihood, and I was thinking, I can't go back to the U.S. and act as if I didn't see this, right? Buildings had been set on fire. People had missing arms and legs. This wasn't like a movie, the Blood Diamond movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jimon Hunsu. It's like, this is reality, and I've got to do something. So I just I stopped my acting career and really just started focusing on listening to the people. And I'm going to talk about that in my presentation later, listening to learn rather than just listening to respond.
Yes.
And how can we, when we're walking into situations, especially that are new to us, how can we walk into them in a space of being open to learn and not just injecting our own opinions and our thoughts? That's what I had to learn. Oh, the American mind's like, why don't we get T-shirts for the kids? Why don't we? And my father's like, we need desks. The kids are sitting on the ground. Now, this is before I got there.
Right,
and once I saw things, I went, okay. And then I said, let's go talk to the different people in the community. What do the women say the needs are? What do the children say? What do the people who are amputees in the community need? And that's when I started to really learn the power of talking to different groups of people who have different experiences. Sometimes we have the same people making all the decisions who have the same experiences. Which is, in my family, it's my family. My family's the royal family. They're the ones running a portion of the country.
Got it.
So they get to make all the decisions. They've studied in England and America, and they have this certain elevated, maybe, point of view. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what works for the people. So that's what I became interested in. How do we listen to everyone's voice to have something powerful for everyone?
What did the women and the children say when you asked them what they needed?
The women. This is what I'm going to talk about tonight. But I'm going to tell y'all.
Just give a little sneak peek. We don't want to give all the cookies. So yes.
But the women and children. The women said we walk miles a day to get clean drinking water. We're spending all of our time doing that, and we need clean drinking water, and we need wells in the provinces. They don't have access, and our children are dying of waterborne diseases. Water, a huge thing for life, what we need, and easily to get, right? The children said, we don't have light, we can't read at night, we can't play, we can't do our homework. Like, they want to do homework, but they do. Like, to learn is a big deal, a huge opportunity. So we got solar lanterns, we worked with Rotary and started working together. And the little girls, now this is an uncomfortable topic, but women will understand who are listening. And men too, or however people identify. And the girls said, we drop out of school due to our menstrual cycle because we don't have access to sanitary pads.
Right.
And we get embarrassed, and so we stay home month after month, and then we get behind, and so we just drop out. Now, something that is such a privilege to have, I've always taken it for granted, and I started to learn about that. Now, my family, the leaders, who are men, who I love, but they're not going to be talking about sanitary pads, the importance of hearing other voices, so they can stay in school and raise their families and make a difference and become whatever they want to become in life. So that's what I was interested in.
Okay. Now, once you spent some time there and you kind of helped to implement some changes and to improve the quality of life, what's maybe some of your most proudest moments as you continue to visit and, participate?
Okay, I already know. My favorite moment was when my dad, who raised me, Dr. Jim Culberson, he's a neuroanatomist, and my dad, Joe Pessoa, in Sierra Leone, got together, and they were emailing each other. Well, first of all, they met, and then they were emailing each other. I'm copied on everything. and they were working with Rotary to dig wells.
Okay. Yes.
And they're like, well, Joe, where should we put the well? Well, Jim. And I'm reading these emails back and forth between my birth father and my dad who raised me. I'm crying. We were able to dig 9 wells with Rotary's help, serving over 12,000 people with clean drinking water. And that's because those 2 men came together from West Virginia to West Africa.
Yes.
Right? So it's like, what can we accomplish if we get to know each other better, listen to learn, and really people have life. They have access to clean drinking water. And that's because these 2 men came together. So that's my favorite moment.
All right.
So far.
You do it right away. You do it right away. Impressive. Yes. So the tech kind of nerd in me wants to ask you about what inspired you to create a Roblox game that allows the players to build and learn about cultures. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
And very, very different.
Well, what a great way to access young people, right? Young people are always gaming.
Yeah.
How can we give them the carrot? You don't tell them the carrot's healthy, but like a way to learn about cultures, but at the same time, they're having a great time gaming. Right? So how can we bring in education? My background, everyone in my family is in education. So I'm interested in how do we have fun and learn at the same time.
Yeah, because that's how students do. As a professor, that's how students learn most is gaming. They want to play games. They want to interact and all that.
Yes. Are you a professor?
I am a professor,
What are you a professor of?
I teach music business at Cal State University, Fullerton. So, yes, so the professor, yeah.
You're the California hood where I am.
Yes,
okay.
yes. So that's what I do, but the games. Now, are you a gamer? Do you like the game?
I'm not a gamer.
No? Why
I'm not a gamer. Listen, if I was a gamer, I wouldn't get anything else done. Honestly, it's hard enough with social media. I'm like, no, I'm not a gamer. But there are so many people who are. So
okay, Roblox there. You mentioned acting, Hollywood.
Yes.
What's the update on the live action movie based on your story and your journey?
Well, we're in the queue, so to speak.
Okay, yes.
With Disney after COVID and after the 9-month strike.
Yes.
That was a huge thing. And so everything's kind of in the waiting area while they figure out what's happening. So we're kind of in the waiting pattern, but I'm okay with that. We're working on all these other great things. So so it's okay until they're ready to keep it moving. So, but we've read 2 of the scripts. So,
okay. Do you have any extra roles in there for maybe a 6'0", light-skinned African-American man to maybe be the hero? If so, I like to be animated. I can be animated too. So, just let me know.
Okay, I love you. You can come and be the professor or something.
Yes, I'll be a cool professor too.
You be a cool professor. Yes. I can tell you're a cool professor. I love that.
So, I just want to put you gotta shoot your shot when you can, right?
Yeah, right. You have to.
This is true.
Smart, very smart.
Thank you.
I'll keep you in mind.
Okay. Thank you. What inspired you to come visit us here in Louisville and share your story and kind of share some of your mindset and practices with us?
My amazing speaking manager, Sheldon, said that I should come here and check everything out. And can I tell you, Louisville, I came here. I have family here. Every single Thanksgiving, we'd come here.
Oh, okay.
And then all the adults would go to the racetrack after, or the Derby, the Kentucky Derby. So there are a lot of wonderful memories being here as a kid, hanging out with my cousins and stuff. So it's awesome to be back. I haven't been here in years. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm curious, advice based on what you've learned. And I love to ask this question. Some people laugh at me because I ask it all the time. But let's go back and talk to Sarah when she was 21 years old.
Oh, yeah. You mean 7 years ago?
Yes. I was thinking 4, but you said 7.
I'll take it.
You said 7, so this is true. And give her advice based on everything you've been through, the risks you've taken, the courage you've exhibited. What advice would you give your younger self?
Yeah. I guess the advice that I would give myself, is that you don't have to know how to do everything. That there are dreams that you may want to take on that seem unattainable. However, if you share with people what you want and put it out there into the world with people who will lift you. Some people like to not do that.
Yes.
But people who lift you, they'll help you with those dreams. Starting a foundation, going to find my family, all this that I've done, none of it's been on my own. We weren't put on this planet to be by ourselves, right? So really, you can do anything inside a community. Don't be afraid to ask. You're amazing. You're powerful. You're talented. I was really hard on myself growing up.
Okay.
I didn't look like everyone growing up, so I thought, okay, I got to be really great so everyone will like me and no one will leave me. And I didn't realize that until much later in life. That probably has to do with my adoption as well.
Right.
Also being the only like brown kid, black woman in the predominantly white world, in my own white family, right?
Yeah.
So there was some things I was dealing with, but as a result, kind of standing in my power now and knowing you got this and you don't have to do it alone.
Okay. All right. Great advice. You mentioned one thing, like with such visibility you have on social media in the world.
Yes.
How do you manage the people, trolls, who love to kind of bring you down, you know, maybe online trolls and in real life? What do you do to manage your mindset? Because that's got to be very important because you're doing some important work.
Yeah.
And you can't get distracted.
You know, my boyfriend, George Hughes, always says to me, if you don't have people coming after you, you're not really up to anything.
Wise man there. Yes,
right?
Yes.
Which I think is such a great way to look at things because people, if you're not doing anything, people don't care, right? So that's one aspect and context that I use. I also don't really read a lot of the stuff. I just try to move. I thank goodness there's a team that I work with and they can manage a lot of that stuff. And I used to have challenges with it when back before into like 2006 when my story hit the media, it was overwhelming and I didn't know how to be with all of that. And it really started to get me depressed. But I was able to shift that. And people have to be careful with that.
Yes, very careful.
And have your village around you and know that you don't have to take on. And people it's like, are you that bored in life that you've got to come after me? Like, what's going on in your life? Go do you.
Yeah.
Right?
But they could be bored, yes.
Yeah.
How are you successful in building like a very nice and supportive village? Because that can be challenging, particularly if you're in the public eye so much and people are like, oh, she's a princess. I want to get some access to that. Like, how are you able to build your people?
Yeah, great question. Because the changes happen. My family, I'm really close with my family.
Nice.
And I adore them. And also, you know what's kind of interesting? I've been interviewing the royalty from around the world from the podcast. Please check it out, Modern Royalty Podcast.
Yes.
On YouTube, Spotify, all that jazz. Little plug.
Always.
But what's interesting is these folks who I've been interviewing have become friends. They have their own world of kind of not being able to. So literally one of the princesses messaged me yesterday and said, hey, I've got this idea, and we're just chatting it up. So I have friends that I've grown up with in West Virginia who will always be there. Like my first grade best friend, Amy. My other best friend from 5th grade, Stephanie.
Stephanie.
And we still talk regularly.
Right.
I have friends around me. But I also have new people and not being afraid to be open to new people.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You met a new person here today, too. But anyways, we'll keep talking.
A new person who wants to be in the movie.
Yes. What's next for you, and what are you looking forward to kind of accomplishing next?
Okay, what's next? So what I really want to do, one, I want to take this podcast and turn it into a travel show. So we're actually traveling to these different places. I also, the other thing with my brother, we're working having clean drinking water for the entire country in Sierra Leone. It's not a gigantic country. It's going to take a lot, but that's another unknown that we're stepping into that we're working on. So those are two of the main things. And another dream is to have a college fund so anybody can go to college.
Yes,
that's a huge dream of mine. And not just in America, but also in Sierra Leone.
Good. Yes. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, time for another plug. Where else can people kind of find you if they want to connect? Maybe they want to support what you're doing. Where's the best place to reach you?
Yes. So I am Princess SC. So Princess Sarah Culberson on LinkedIn. I am Princess SC on all the platforms. And Sierra Leone Rising. .org for our work in Sierra Leone. Please, if you're open to it, donate, give. It makes a huge, whatever it is, $5 to $5,000 makes a difference. You know.
Yeah. And Princess Sarah, she will be giving our closing keynote session today at approximately 3:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
Thank you for getting up this morning and sharing some time with us. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And just amazing. So we'll support you. Can't wait to see what you talk to us about this afternoon or evening.
Thank you. I would love to be in one of your classes. I can tell you're an amazing professor.
Okay. Well,
you're entertaining.
We got it on tape. So we're going to make that happen. Up next, we have Chester Santos joining us. So give us about 1 or 2 minutes. Thanks again to Princess Sarah, and we'll see you back here in 1 minute.
See ya.